Hi beauties, thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is Dear Gracious Dube and welcome to my channel. Okay, so today I have another hair video for you guys, and basically in this video I'll be showing you guys how I trim my natural hair. So a disclaimer right from the beginning, I am not a professional. I'm not saying that this is the best way to trim your hair. I'm not saying that this is the only way to trim your hair, and I did use heat in this method. So if you're a person who does not like using heat, if you're 100% against using heat, you may not enjoy this method that I used, but I found this to be quite smooth and painless, so I decided to share it with you guys, and I really do hope that you enjoy it. If you enjoy this video, please give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below and share this video as well. Okay, so let's talk. How do you know that it's time to trim your hair? So I would say there's about 5 easy ways for you to know that it's time to trim your hair. Number 1, you have single strand knots. Now, if you don't know what single strand knots are, then you probably don't have them. But basically, single strand knots, if you've got curly hair or coily hair, tightly curled, coiled hair, what happens is that your hair, especially if it's very dry, it forms coils right at the end, right? And so you go in there and you're trying to like do a hairstyle, trying to manipulate your hair, and then sometimes what happens is as you're running your hands through your hair trying to manipulate it, what you actually do is that curl or that coil, it actually forms a knot. So as you pull on the ends of your hair, it actually does not uncurl or uncoil, it actually forms a knot. And guys, trust me, once your hair is knotted, like there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot unknot it. I have tried I've actually tried this, as dumb as that was. I've tried to see if I could take out a single strand knot, and it is absolutely impossible. The only way for you to get rid of single strand knots is just to snip them off, girl. Just take those scissors and snip off those ends, because if you leave in single strand knots, they only become worse because they cause tangles. So that leads me to number 2. If your hair is tangling quite a lot, it probably means that it's time for a trim, because your ends are dead and they are all frazzled up, and you need to trim them off, girl, because it doesn't look cute if your hair looks healthy right at the roots and in the middle, and then at the ends it looks like this. The best thing to do is just to trim it off. Okay, so number 3, if you have split ends. So what are split ends? So imagine that this is a strand of your hair, right? And over time, so this happens even if you take very good care of your hair. Over time, our hair does deteriorate because our hair is not alive, our hair is basically dead. And so over time, sometimes we get split ends. So that literally is exactly what the name says. It's a split end. Your hair starts to split at the strand. So you've got, this is a single strand of your hair, and over time it starts to split like this. And if you do not snip the strand where it has started to split, it will only continue to split further, and that's gonna just destroy the whole strand of hair. So the best thing to do is to snip off your strands. Once again, you cannot remedy a split end. Once it is split, the best thing for you to do is just to snip it off. Okay, so I think I've given 4 or is it 3 different reasons, but anyway, the other reason is the other way to know rather when it's time for a trim is when you're doing your hairstyles and they're not quite turning out as poppin' as they used to be. If you're doing your twist outs, like your hair looks a little bit limp and lifeless, or if you're doing your braid outs and it's not looking as good as it used to look, especially at the ends, then it's probably time for a trim as well. And then the last way is if your ends are very dry and then you moisturize them. After a few hours you come back and you realize that your ends are dry again, then it's probably time for a trim as well, because your ends are probably so fried up that it's time for a trim, and there's no way to kind of remedy this. And the best way is just to trim. I know that a lot of us are chasing length and you're probably a little bit terrified of trimming your hair, but trust me, if you want your hair to grow healthy, you have to trim it. And your hair is still gonna grow, ladies. And the thing is, if you don't trim your ends, like your hair will still grow at the roots, but your ends are breaking off. So you're not gonna see a length difference over time. It's gonna seem like your hair isn't growing, but it's just because your ends aren't healthy. So it's very important to get rid of those dead ends let it go, just let it go, and you'll see your hair will look so much better afterwards. So I decided to do this myself. Just one note is make sure that you get the proper scissors. So get shears, get professional scissors which are made for cutting hair. Don't use regular old scissors because those can actually cause more damage. So I would say go out there, go to Clicks or Discam or your local beauty supply store and buy yourself some good scissors. And yeah, so, if you do enjoy it, give it a huge thumbs up once again, and don't forget to subscribe and enjoy. Till next time, bye. So first things first, I am going to be lightly spraying my hair all over with some water and conditioner. This is just a mix which I made, and I'm just moisturizing it and making sure that my hair is a little bit moisturized. And then I'm going in with my favorite leave-in conditioner at the moment. You can use any moisturizer that you want to use. Today I'm choosing to use this leave-in from L'Oreal. And now I am going to undo my little braids which I did the night before. And this part can be a little bit tedious. It does take time, but I just wanted my hair to be stretched out a little bit more so that I wouldn't have to use so much heat to try and get my hair straight. And now I'm just going to spray it again a little bit because I am going to be detangling and I don't want to detangle on absolutely dry hair. And of course, always use a heat protectant. So today I used the ORS Heat Protect Serum. And I quite like this serum. I think it worked quite well. Left my hair feeling quite smooth and shiny as well. So I did like that quite a lot. And now I'm just going in with my wide tooth comb. And I am just going to detangle, starting at the ends as usual. And I'm going to comb through the length of my hair until the comb smoothly goes through it. So now I'm going in with my hair dryer. This is the Revlon hair dryer. I bought this at Clicks, and honestly this is the best thing that I've bought for my hair. Well, maybe not the best, but definitely one of the best things that I've bought for my hair in a long time. It's so easy to use, it's so pain-free, like it doesn't rip your hair out, and look at how quickly it gets my hair straight. It's so amazing. And now my hair is almost completely straight. Okay, so this part over here, basically I am pulling my hair straight and I'm kind of using my thumb as a marker. I use my thumb as a marker to kind of see where the hair starts to get very thin. And where the hair starts to get very thin, that's where I will trim my hair. So that it is kind of the same thickness from beginning to end. And then I'm just gonna comb it again. And now I am putting that to the side. I'm just gonna clip it away and move on to the next section. So the same thing again, I am undoing that little braid that I made. Then I apply my little bit of water. Make sure to moisturize it nicely by running my hands through it. Apply your leave-in conditioner, apply your heat protectant. Smooth it throughout your hair, and now I'm detangling with my comb. Making sure that my hair is nice and detangled before I use my blow dryer. Now I'm going in with my blow dryer. Once again, using my hand and my thumb kind of like as a measure to see where my hair starts to look very thin, and that is where I am going to snip off the ends. As you can see, I'm not snipping off too much, just where I felt it was necessary to snip. That is where I'm snipping, and my hair no longer feels rough at the ends. I can feel that a lot of the single strand knots have been snipped off. So now I'm just going to show you the same thing again in double time. Okay, that was my bad. I made that blow dryer way too hot and then I burnt my fingers. So once again, you're just checking to see like where the hair starts to look thin at the ends, and then you trim that off. As you can see, I'm really not trimming a lot of hair. It literally just is a trim and not a haircut. So after I've trimmed both sections, I'm just gonna twist it up. And now we are all done, and I'm just undoing those twists which I had done earlier on all the sections, and which are already trimmed. And I am now combing my hair, and this is kind of like another test for me to see if I've done a good job trimming, if the comb kind of glides easily, because remember, once again, my hair is straightened, which means I can actually comb it. And as you can see, the comb glides very easily, and I'm very happy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I trimmed my hair, and I'm very happy with the results. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.